Welcome to the final episode of Mega Man Revisited. Here we find ourselves at the boss rush on normal mode, and of course this is Woodman. I finally managed to figure out his pattern and get over his leaves. I didn't do it perfectly here, but it didn't really matter anyway because he dies in a hit from the atomic fire. That's one thing I actually like about normal. The fights are a lot quicker and easier. Of course, Quickman here is a different story. He's always a pain in the ass. You can't really trap him with the Crash Bomber either, because there's no uneven floors unless you can get him against a wall. So I ended up just shooting him with it. I don't quite remember the order I was going in. I don't think I remembered it when I was making this video either. I actually had to refer to my guide that I was working on several times. So this isn't really what I recommend doing. You should probably wait for Heatman. He's a lot easier than the others because you can get him in a pattern. You should probably be one of the last guys you fight. Airman, on the other hand, I think it was actually, that pause there is actually me making sure Airman was in there. Airman, on the other hand, is a different story. It's almost impossible to dodge some of these patterns. And then, of course, you have the wind blowing on top of all that. Fortunately, you can kill him really quickly with the wood shield. Or the leaf shield. Or whatever the hell it's called. Wood shield, that sounds like an item from an RPG. In fact, there's a Mega Man, I think it was Mega Man X RPG, that I really want to play someday. I played a little bit of it years ago. It was quite good. Bubble Man's a joke. He's one of the easier bosses in the game. The only thing that makes him a challenge are the spikes in his room, and of course there are none in Wily's fortress here. I was trying to get a one-shot kill on Crash Man, but that did not happen. Flash Man here is also very easy. I've decided I'm going to use... I actually killed him and went into the I was still standing on the teleporter. It teleported me out the second he died. That was funny. And that's funny too. There's a lot of one-hit kill bosses in this game. I've decided I'm probably going to use Nostopia for Mega Man 6. I'm using the FCEUX emulator. And, I don't know, it doesn't seem to work well with Windows 10. It must be like some kind of driver conflicts, but I get a lot more flicker than I used to. So, we're going to do something else. And that was me one-shotting Dr. Wily. So that's 3 one-shot kills for these bosses. This is difficult mode. There's not going to be very many one-hit kills here, of course. I'm going to have to hit Woodman twice with the atomic fire. You can use the atomic fire on Wily, but you need to actually have some left to make it work. Wow, I was, like, killing it. Damn, I got over the leaves and everything. I was so happy I jumped back and forth. And yeah, so this is the first video I did actually. And this is when I was trying to figure out what the order was. I had to refer to my notes constantly. That's one thing about the teleporter rooms. I really love this part of the game. But I would have liked it if they had at least let you know who was in the room. But I guess that's part of the fun. It might be a little too easy if they had like the boss's picture above the teleporter or something. And I think in Mega Man X they actually copied Mega Man, the original Mega Man game. They didn't have a teleporter room. I was just thinking about that. I always liked that. They did it a lot better too in Mega Man X. Because eventually, like, they just had you fighting boss after boss in the original. And, like, Guts Man was, like, really difficult to deal with. It was a real mess in the original Mega Man. But, in Mega Man X, they did it very smoothly and very well. And here we have Crash Man, again. Of course, he can eat these air shooters, like, I don't know, Pez? I don't know why I wanted to say Pez. Is that even a thing anymore? Is there still Pez? I guess there is. I'll have to look. I remember getting one of my kids' Pez years ago. A while back now. So maybe it's still a thing. And, Bubble Man's still a joke. I don't think he hit me even. Let's see if we took damage. I probably screwed up at some... I don't know. I find it funny that I handle these normal, very difficult mode fights a lot better than I do the normal mode ones. I think that changes a bit. Yeah, see, I kind of messed up here and did Flashman. I mean, I think he... I don't know, he didn't manage to hit me. He tried. And, I did mess up Heat Man, though. I did a very bad job on him. I think he hit me a whole lot. Or maybe not. I went right over those frickin' fireballs of his. Oh yeah, this is where he starts to get me. I had that one smooth move, and then it all went down the shitter. That's okay, because Metal Man's like a 2-pump chump. And we'll have him down and out very soon now. He still looks like a doctor to me. Like one of those old doctors from like the 30s. And there we go. So it takes a whopping 2 metal blades to kill him. That was something they did as a joke, apparently. Or not really as a joke, it was just something to, I guess, shock players or surprise them. Like, oh, his own weapon kills him in 2 hits, it's really funny. I mean, I guess you could say it's a joke of some sort. Developers seem to have pretty strange senses of humor, which is something I actually quite appreciate. Now this is really a drawn-out battle. And I tried to, like, pump as many metal blades into him as I could. A single Crash Bomber works yet again. It takes a couple more hits for it to actually destroy the machine, but as you can see, it's still effective. I messed up on the first shot there, though I missed. Now we're going to fight a boss that's near and dear to my heart. Probably one of the coolest things they ever did in Mega Man. I remember being totally shocked when I was a kid playing this. Even though, like, I kind of figured this wasn't the case. Now, you can just run past all of these if you fall to the right far enough and just keep going. Here we have the final boss fight. Now, this is normal mode. I probably don't really need to point this out, but just in case, it does get a little confusing since I switch up. Yeah, so I was surprised by this. I kind of knew he was an alien from the game atlas because I was looking at it before I played the game. But I was like, is he really an alien? Like, that's what got me. Like, they didn't really tell you what was going on. Which I can, you know, to the game atlas's credit, it actually made things a little more exciting. Find out what was going on. He's not the worst boss, but he can really damage you with those shots, as you can see there. And the battle becomes really long and drawn out. I cut that out because I wanted to reduce the annoying sound that the boss makes when he dies to a minimum. I also didn't want to show the last portion of the game yet, or the ending. It's a better word. It's still early in the morning. So I'm not good with words yet. Yeah, so this takes twice as long. It becomes a lot more challenging. He uses this pretty easy to figure out infinity pattern. But those shots are like, they're fast, they're aimed at you, and it's easy to mess up, especially if you're trying to like rush and kill the boss. And if you have to fight him again, and you run out of the bubble land, you're kind of screwed. You'll have to continue the game, because nothing else works on him. He's a cool looking alien. It's something you'd expect from the 80s. He looks like a mashup between like E.T. and one of those like gray aliens you see on X-Files and shit. Were they even in X-Files? I don't know. But anyway. He has this kind of own thing going with the glowing ribs and all that. Looks like something out of Guyver, actually. Now we get to hear this annoying whirring sound. I'm going to try to remember to turn this down in the editing. One of my kids actually came out of her room and asked me what was wrong with my computer because of that noise. I said, that's actually the game. Mega Man 2 does have its problems. And if you hear a scratching sound, that's my cat. Cat and dog like to be parts of these videos, I guess, and decide to make noises and stuff. Now, I have to apologize because the ending kind of messes up in a weird way, as we'll see. This is probably because of the emulator. I don't remember this from the game itself. Which is another reason why I'm going to switch from the FCEUX. It's supposed to be one of the best emulators, but it's really been acting up with Windows 10. Of course, Windows 10 sucks, so there's that. I'm thinking of switching over to Linux. Well, not switching entirely, but getting Linux on my other hard drive. Yeah, see, like spazzes out right there. Really strange. And we'll have another part where it spazzes out. Right there. I don't think that's what happened in the original game. But, yeah. So that's the ending of Mega Man 2. It's a little bit sad. I think they thought that was going to be the last game. Ha! You know, sold very well. Capcom loved it. And as Capcom is wont to do, they made 10 billion sequels. To the detriment of the series, actually. Because after playing through these games, I feel like, you know, the games certainly arc a little bit. You know, some are better than others. I thought Mega Man 4 was actually quite good. And I've always liked 6. I wasn't so much of a fan of 3 and 5, though. But I'll talk about all that later on. And here we just have the last scenes here. Or the credits, as they would call it, on Earth, where they have words for things that I don't know. There's some strange names here, like 2MO, 3CM Man. I don't know if that's supposed to be. It sounds like something from Star Wars. It's like if Star Wars robots and Mega Man robots had robot babies together. What the fuck would that even... How would that work? Anyway, you get this jazzy ending theme, and all is well in Mega Man Land because we won. I'm kind of disappointed because apparently they have alternate boss entry scenes. Like when you start the stage up, you have the boss do his pose and his name comes up. Apparently they have one where like birds appear and stuff. We didn't get that. So that was a little disappointing. I guess that's like a random thing that you don't always get. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I will be back with more Mega Man. We're going to do Mega Man 6 next, and then we're taking a long break from the series. So until next time, good luck and happy gaming.